Speed Radio
around
real
and do
quick.
different things. That was a good advantage to have.
All right, getting the Mustang this year, you've gotten off to. I mean, obviously last week you had the penalty, or you had the problem with the loose wheel, so you didn't get the finish you probably deserved last week. But do you feel like the Mustang is where everybody thought that maybe you may not be as far as success so far this season?
Yeah, it's I think it's definitely made up some time. The good thing is, it seems like
he's a real student of the game, isn't he, Justin Haley?
Awesome information right there. That's what the driver needs to know, is what the 20 or the 18, the best two cars, what they're doing it and how they're doing it, especially for a rookie like him.
He's been top 10 the last 2 weeks. More of the same this week. Phoenix is a tough track.
It's a tough track. I think he can do it, though.
We'll see what he's got for him. Final practice underway for the Xfinity Series at Phoenix.
But I can tell you we don't have it figured out, so nobody does. So when we come back here in the fall, it's going to be a different race again.
How nice is it to get that win out of the way early this year?
Oh, it feels great. Feels good. I tell you what, we may have won the championship last year, but I still remember 2017 when we didn't make the playoffs, and that's stuck in my mind forever, and I never want to have that feeling again. So getting back into the playoffs early feels great.
All right. Is your son sleeping the night yet?
No, I was just talking to him on the FaceTime, and he's good. He's doing awesome, and he just got his bath, and I kind of need one too. I'm really sticky right now from Coca-Cola all over me.
All right, I'll let you get going. Joey, congratulations.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
There is your winner today. I'll let him go. I didn't notice how he didn't smell bad to me. So he smells like a winner to me is what he smells.
There you go. Well, Coca-Cola, that's not a bad deal. Brett, thanks a lot. Great job down there. For Brett McMillan catching up with Todd Gordon and Roger Chapinski and Bob. We'll come back and continue our conversation post Pennzoil 400 here on Fast Talk.
Cameras, but not the click of any camera taking any picture. That's the sound of thousands of Toyota racing fans, one after another getting a shot of their car. Whether their car belongs to Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, or Matt DiBenedetto, this is the moment that captures the Camry before it goes on to write NASCAR history and accomplish the completely amazing. Clinching first place at Kentucky Speedway, sweeping Richmond, or shaking off that rookie status with a massive win at Daytona. So, if this sound reminds you of not one, but 2 championships, you're family now. 2018 was a great season for the Toyota Racing family. Better buckle up for 2019. Follow us at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark for the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
I'm Martin Truex Jr., and you're listening to Fast Talk on the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, I'm
Xfinity
Major General
Series
Chuck
final
Swan.
practice
Les
underway
Lee
here at
Speedway
Phoenix. Who's the best ever when it comes to the Desert Mile?
Last year, granted
How
over
about
$3
Kyle
million.
Busch? 10 wins here.
More than 450
He's led
children's
over
programs.
16
This money gave
laps in
820,000
those
kids the
victories.
tools
That's
to build a better,
80%.
brighter, and
That's an
healthier
average
future.
of
Speedway Children's Charity is
161
more than a
laps
fund
led
base.
out of
Our
200
local
in all those
chapters are
victories.
partners
Absolutely
for change,
amazing, the numbers that
working
he's
with
been
a broad range
capable of, and
programs
the
to
win
help children
percentages
in
that he's
your
been
community.
capable of.
Learn
I
more
think
about how
that's
you
the
can
part
help
that's
your child
even more
by
shocking
visiting
to me.
us
And
at
let's not forget, he's
speedwaycharities.org.
33 years old.
There's no better
we can't say
value
that
in
number
family
enough the way that I look at it.
March 29th
And you know he's got a new Cup teammate this year, and that would be Martin Truex Jr. And Martin's little brother, Ryan Truex, making his 2019 Xfinity debut. Now we can't talk to him right now because he's getting the helmet on all buttoned up. He's the 4th different driver in 4 weeks to drive this 8 car for Dale Jr. Chase Elliott opened up top 10 at Daytona. Ryan Preece followed with a top 10 finish at Atlanta. And Zane Smith made his series debut last weekend at Las Vegas. The young kid out of California was sensational, got collected in one of those late accidents, or he too would have had a top 10 finish. And Truex was really fast in that first practice session, so plenty of reason for optimism there as we take a look at Tyler Reddick.
You know, I can't ever get sick of looking at this camera from the visor of the race car drivers. It really gives us a true appreciation as to what these guys are going through. See, down into turn 3, hard, heavy braking, but you got to get off of those brakes as early as you possibly can. The more throttle, the more straightaway speed that you have, And this is a very big momentum racetrack, Adam. As you go down through the dogleg right there, that's the most G-forces that you feel all the way around this place. As a driver, it is so cool to be on what we call a straightaway and getting pushed down in the seat like that.
Fastest speed here at a 1 mile racetrack that feels like a short track in so many ways, 161 miles per hour. And you look who's leading the way here, John Hunter Nemechek. I want to put an asterisk by that. We don't know exactly what the circumstance is, but because he's a rookie, gets an extra set of tires, likely went out on some stickers here to begin this final session. That's probably why he's quicker than Kyle Busch. Agree or disagree?
Well, I agree 100%. And we would anticipate these guys having those tires to put on. The ones that do should be a little bit quicker than everybody else right now.
These teams, unless you're a rookie, get 6 sets of tires. You turn 2 in after practice. You qualify on a set. You have 3 on pit road for the race. And the breakdown tomorrow, 200 laps. Stage 1, stage 2, each 45 laps, then a 110-lap run to the checkers. The fuel window here in Phoenix is right around 80 laps. That'll give you a baseline, so you will have to make a stop in that final stage of the race. As we look at Noah Gregson, great job for driver 9. Top 11 at all 3 starts so far, going full-time this season. And last week, 3rd at his home track in Las Vegas between 2 real good drivers in Nemechek and obviously Kyle Busch.
You know, it's always fun when you're at your home track to run well, and drivers put more emphasis on that. They want to go out and do well at those racetracks, but here's a guy that's got a championship team the past 2 years. The confidence he must have, knowing that all he's got to worry about is what he's doing in that driver's seat, because the team's going to take care of him the rest of the time. Something else I'm noticing, Adam, some of these cars that are out of the garage as we stand down here right now, they haven't been back here in a while. There are some long runs taking place already right now.
Well, and we said that's what's going to be important, and you're not going to replicate what you'll see tomorrow any better than what you have right now. We've got a lot of sunshine, temperature exactly what we'll see at race time tomorrow. If you want to find out what your race car is capable of, go out in these conditions, and you should have an opportunity to dial it in. Top 5, we talked about Nemechek. Right behind him is Kyle Busch. Cole Custer, where he was at the end of the first practice, 3rd. Christopher Bell is 4th. Then you've got Austin Cindric in the 5th position. And I see a lot of rookies up inside the top 10. We saw the rookie standings a moment ago just below our scoring pylon. 4 of our 5 Rookie of the Year candidates, top 10 finishes at Las Vegas. It speaks to the talent level of this crop.
How impressive have these guys been? All year long they've been up front. What do you got for us, Matt?
Well, if you look down at this end of the garage area and you see the 00 of Cole Custer down on the apron, the thing that they wanted to focus on most, they felt like they had the balance heading in the right direction as far as center to exit, but they needed to work on the loose entry because he just couldn't turn down in the corner going down into what's now turns 3 and 4. And that's something we've also heard about when you talk about the 20 of Christopher Bell. He asked his spotter, Tony Hirschman III, what line, how far down to the bottom was his teammate Kyle Busch, and he got that information. Kyle was actually running a little bit lower. A great shot there in the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek, and you guys speculated, you know, because he does have an extra set of tires, he did utilize that opportunity at the beginning of this practice session. Went out on stickers in that 23 car.
Well, and it makes a lot of sense, Matt, because you go out on stickers, it simulates what a long run will be like after a pit stop and you get a fresh set of tires.
You've got those fresh tires. It allows the air pressure to come up in those tires more consistently with what they're going to see tomorrow when they put those sticker tires on.
Nemechek on the pole here in November, finished inside the top 10. He leads the way in final practice, 40 minutes to go in the desert.
Gyrations of these cars. That's another part of this as well. And that's what really kind of makes me wonder about Jimmie Johnson, is because Jimmy, of all people, when we talk about why his 7 championships stand out to me maybe more than Earnhardt or Petty, it's because of the fact that Jimmy did it with a car that seemingly changed every other season, you know, and for him not to be adapting to this right now, you know, really kind of makes me scratch my head.
And I definitely asked him about that because that's what I was thinking. At pre-race, I said, Jimmy, you've been through a lot of changes. How do you adapt? And he said, you know, you just have to kind of roll with the punches. But today he was also sick, so I don't know if that played anything into tonight or today's race. I'm not sure.
There were a lot of pundits and that said, okay, last year was a fluke. Jimmie Johnson will come back and he's going to be a threat to win the title. I know we're just 3 races in. There's still a lot of ground to make up. The span of excellence for any athlete is only so long. I don't. One day Tom Brady's going to stop throwing touchdown passes. I don't know when that day is. Not soon enough for me, but it'll happen. And we may be there with Jimmy Johnson. He may not. He's not the guy he was when he was 35 years old. He's 43 years old. There's a difference.
Yeah, and again, I go back to there being a problem in the overall environment there at Hendrick. And when I say that, what I simply mean is that they're not getting something right in terms of the aerodynamics on these cars, having all these changes now in the first couple of races of the year. I still say, Doug, that by the time we get to the summer, I'll be surprised if we're still having this conversation. I still need to get on past Michigan and Pocono and get through the first half of this year, and then I think I can say a lot more about where Hendrick Motorsports is or isn't.
And looking back at today's race here, was there anybody that surprised you with how well they ran? Heather, anybody jump off the page at you?
Ricky Stenhouse today for me, because at one point, I mean, he was running in the top 5 there for a little while. He told his
38 minutes to go,
Patty,
final
said,
practice for Xfinity teams here at IMS Raceway, just outside Phoenix, Arizona. And we should remind everyone we are streaming this practice session live on Fox partner Caffeine. You can get the app at the Google Play or the Apple App Store, and you can create your own broadcast there. Our final practice in Xfinity today, originating from the garage. We've abandoned the booth. We're down where the action is, and we get an up-close view of all these drivers as they make laps for the final time before qualifying here tomorrow. And you see the 7 of Justin Allgaier, always good when it comes to this racetrack. Won both stages here in November, nearly pulled off a huge win that would have sent him back to the Homestead Miami Speedway to run for the championship. And he was a part of a junior motorsports sweep here back in 2017. He won the spring, and then Rookie of the Year and eventual champion William Byron was able to win the November event. There's another driver from junior motorsports, Michael Annett. What a start for him this year, Regan.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch these guys. Also, during that practice, Adam, Michael Annett was actually in the 7-car hauler with Justin Allgaier. They were communicating about what the race cars were doing, what they can do to get better, and that's one of the luxuries of having a teammate like Justin Allgaier on your team that you can go talk to if you're struggling. And that was very tight with his race car. Justin Allgaier was actually hitting the splitter with his race car, so they've been working on that this entire practice session.
Well, I'm looking at the board here in the garage. Allgaier just went out, made a 4-lap run, and he's come back in. That would concern me because he's not, based on what I'm seeing, inside the top 10. Am I reading this right?
Well, you are reading that right. And speaking of teammates, also, the number 8 of Truex is out there. I went and asked him, I said, hey, did you call your brother and talk to him before he came here this weekend? He said, my brother told me to go talk to Allgaier. He said, he's better here than I am. Talk to him. You don't need to talk to me about these cars.
Time at the dealership.
Allgaier, of course, so good when it comes to shifting. And you and I were talking in that first practice session about the importance of that here, especially as you get into a run to help compensate on the handling of your vehicle as it goes through the changes over the course of a green flag cycle here. And we look at the 19 of Brandon Jones. He nearly started the year with 3 consecutive top 5 finishes, crashed late at Las Vegas. It was a hard crash, but I think he served notice. I'm going to be someone you have to deal with each and every week this season.
You know, and I feel like we overlooked the fact that he had a crew chief change. They've come out of the box so hot this year that we forget Jeff Mendering is new to him this season. They've had to learn each other. They've had to go out there and figure out the communication, and it appears that it's been almost seamless for them. A little more of an old school throwback feel with Jeff Mendering.
I'm Paul Shad in Charlotte with Kathy Martin.
And there's a look at the 98 of Chase Briscoe.
Country from PRN.
And he currently does not find himself inside the top 10. The rookie out of Mitchell, Indiana, trying to find some speed. What do you have for us, Matt?
Oh my God. Well, this is the garage area. You know, we talk a lot about history here at Phoenix and Richard Childress Racing. They've won here 3 different times in Xfinity competition with 3 different drivers. Tyler Reddick would love to make it a 4th. And you look at this practice session and their agenda. They started out with a long run, ran 18 laps. The car a little loose on entry down into turn 1. But that's where they start focusing on their balance. It's snug from the center off. Where they're really good is down in turns 3 and 4. And talking to a lot of the different brake companies, their representatives here in the garage area, especially after long runs, coming back in, getting brake temperature. You know, around the 850 to 1,000 in the front and around 700 to 800 in the back. And Regan, we talk a lot about balance during the race, and you as a driver, you've got an opportunity with the brake bias adjuster to tweak the balance of the race car over a run, or in particular, if your car is swinging one way or another balance-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the best tools, Matt, that they have in these race cars, is the ability to go front, rear, and change things up if that brake is not performing the way that they want to, or if the car is too loose, maybe too tight on entry. We talked about the tight end entry as well.
Veteran broadcast
just about halfway through final practice for Xfinity cars here in Phoenix. Nemechek, Busch, Custer, your top 3.
And our buddy Hill Overton was there, and he asked Jeff Gordon a question. And then Gordon looks at him and goes, Hill, how long you been doing this? You know, Hill, 107 years. And he goes, well, where the hell's Pat Patterson? He's been at this that long, too. So just so you know, you're on Jeff Gordon's radar somewhere.
Oh, that's great. Well, God bless Hill Overton. I love him so.
Yeah. Hill is a longtime guy. Used to be on PRN and still covers the sport. But Jeff Gordon has a great appreciation for people that have been around this game. Our other person today is Heather DeBow, and Heather has worked on and off with PRN over the last, 3 seasons maybe?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right?
Maybe longer.
And this year she'll be involved in more races. I think you're doing a total of 5 with us.
I have 4. So
okay.
Here in September again, Sonoma and 2nd Texas.
And just for the uninitiated, you cover a lot of other motorsports. Give us a little 411.
So I originally started with Speed Channel. That's how I met you guys, was out at the speed stage. But since then, I've covered the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. I've covered Red Bull Global Rallycross. I've covered American Flat Track, ARCA. And then this week here at the race with you guys, NASCAR.
Well, we love having you on. I did want to ask you one thing before we get to our highlights package. I think the most talked about person at this speedway this weekend was Haley Deegan, young lady that won the K&N race on the last lap pass. I think she's won 2 now. Is that correct?
Yes, she's won 2. Last year she made history by becoming the first female ever to win a NASCAR race in the K&N Pro West Series out at Meridian Speedway. That's in Boise, Idaho. And she had a last lap pass there, too, a little bump and run on her own teammate for that first win. And then just Thursday night, she did the same thing to Jagger Jones, who's a rookie in that series as well. And she pulled off the win. It was pretty impressive.
On dirt, by the way.
Yes.
She did that on dirt.
But did you know?
Asphalt before.
Did you know her nickname is the Dirt Princess?
Well, I mean, well, from what I understand and what I heard her talk about, I mean, she basically put a lot of weight on her shoulders. She felt like she was supposed to win that race. That wasn't like.
And this is right here in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah,
Xfinity cars on track for the final
last
time.
Year she finished second
and here we are in the garage, and we got to talk about what SS Greenlight Racing did last weekend in Las Vegas.
So she
Mile
said
and a half's are difficult
Thursday
for
night,
everyone.
she should be the one
when
to win
you're a
because
team
the faster guys
that works so hard to maintain equipment week to week, it elevates the challenge. Their 2 drivers recorded top career best finishes. They were in the top 12. Ray Black Jr. in the 07, Gray Gaulding in the 08. Gray, first off, congratulations. What a weekend in Las Vegas, my man.
I know it's early.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Literally
it feels really cool to be able to get a good finish for Flywheel and SS Greenlight Racing. You know, I said at Daytona, I call our race team
energy, but she's spunky,
we don't have many guys, but you know what, we keep fighting.
She's almost like that wild child. I don't know how many people out there listening are familiar with Brian Deegan,
we got a lot of momentum on our
back in the day
side. We're
when
just going to try to keep it going and
ran motocross
hopefully this
and all
Flywheel
that.
Chevrolet will be right where we want it this
one to
weekend.
definitely
It's
watch
so
out for. I don't think
difficult
she'll be
to come
quite
out
as
west
crazy as
and
he is,
go
but
3
she's
consecutive weeks competing it totally different styles of racetracks. Starting off like you guys did last week, what does that do to help you this weekend at Phoenix and next week in Southern California?
Oh, I mean, in this sport, it's all about momentum. You know, when you have momentum, it's on your side, especially for guys that had a tough year last year. To be able to see them smile and see them get really excited, get to the racetrack, that makes me want to have a lot more drive as well. It's like you're excited to go to the track. You know, you believe in your guys. I believe in my ability, and we're just kind of doing our thing, man. You know, a lot of people aren't really talking about us, but after these last couple weeks, you know, I feel like a lot of people are talking, and that's what we want to do. We're just we love what we do. We're very fortunate to come to the racetrack and live our dreams, and I'm just happy I get to drive this race car. So we're gonna have another fun weekend.
Bill McAnally.
Well, it has been enjoyable to watch this group early in the year down at Daytona. We mentioned Gray's name because he found his way toward the front of the pack and was in that lead draft, and again next week. And now, just behind us here, Ray Black Jr. is pulled back into the garage. These two teammates celebrating career bests on the same day, top 12, overachieving, and certainly something to celebrate. Regan?
A little bit earlier, it was the Pennzoil 400. It was won by Joey Logano. Let's catch the highlights of what turned out to be a
And there's a look at Ray Black Jr. He was out making a run, pulled back into the garage area. And the other guy that we should mention in all this, we talk about SS Greenlight Racing. The other guy that we need to mention is their owner, Bobby Dotter. Bobby is a racer. He wanted to compete. Grew up with his father in Chicago, racing on the short tracks in Illinois. Eventually came down to North Carolina. Has been told many times it wasn't going to work out, and he continued to prove the doubters wrong. And now he's got a couple of young drivers that are doing positive things. And speaking of positive things, there's Kyle Busch, second in this practice. We talked earlier about the difference in tires for he and John Hunter Nemechek, who's in front of him. Kyle's so good here, and this weekend will be going for NASCAR win number 198. He got 196 and 197 last weekend out of his home track in Las Vegas when he won on Friday night in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series race, and again on Sunday afternoon in Xfinity competition. 28 minutes to go. Final practice live on FS1 from Phoenix.
They're nose to tail across the stripe, heading back to one.
Keselowski shuts the door on him as he had the run down the backstretch. That's going to give Harvick a chance to get to the inside of Kyle Busch. Busch slips up the racetrack. The top three down at the bottom. Kyle Busch now only a half a car length. He's not going to try to hold on to that second spot. He wants to lead this race today. Gets right to the bumper. Keselowski can't make anything work. Keselowski holds the bottom of the racetrack, but here comes Logano.
Logano from the outside goes around Kyle Busch, feints to the inside of his teammate Brad Keselowski. Now he jumps to the outside.
I think we're going to see a new leader off turn 2. Here comes Logano. He'll fly high, wide, and handsome to the race lead. Here comes a pass for the lead in turn 1. Kyle Busch will use lap cars to get it done. He'll take the lead away from Logano as they make their way around Austin Dillon and Landon Castle. But Logano says, hang on, it ain't over yet. He goes to the bottom. He'll try to move Busch back a spot again. Give Logano credit here as he drives right up underneath Kyle Busch and retakes the lead off 4. Logano loses a lot of ground. Here comes Kyle Busch. He's going to try to make a run at him off the 4.
Now Kyle Busch, too fast on pit road. He has been hit by the speed police. A pass-through penalty. That one's going to leave a mark.
Joey Logano will claim stage number 2. Kevin Harvick will come home in second. Martin Truex Jr. third.
It is Kurt Busch on the outside. It is Joey Logano to the inside. Green flag is waving once again here at Las Vegas.
Keselowski makes it 3 wide coming off of turn 4. The battle is up front. Joey Logano to the inside, to his outside. Kurt Busch.
Side by side, they run again. This is 3 laps in a row. Nobody's giving an inch up front. Here comes Harvick. He'll try to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Kurt Busch drives down and shuts the door on him. Not going to give him the room this time by. Joey Logano's been narrowing the gap the last 3 laps. This time into turn 1. He rides up to the middle group. Side by side off turn 2. Harvick won't go quickly.
Joey Logano side by side with teammate Brad Keselowski. At the stripe, it's Keselowski by about 3 feet. But here comes Logano.
Joey Logano on the bottom. Brad Keselowski in the middle. Up top, the lap machine of Landon Castle. Side by side. Teammates not giving an inch. Well, Joey stays out towards the wall of the racetrack. Logano's now got to make a decision. This is going to give Keselowski a chance to do some catching up. Keselowski cuts it down to 4 car lengths. They're both right up next to the wall. And don't look now, but Kyle Busch is about caught in this group as well.
They'll be looking at the white flag when they come back to the line. This time it's
This week on NASCAR Race Up, we talk who was left in who's dust in the Phoenix Desert. And as always, we have a must-watch radio action for you. Plus, it's been an eventful year at Front Row Motorsports. Now a 3-car team, Michael McDowell also has a new crew chief. We'll find out what it takes and what they've had to overcome. This week on NASCAR Race Up, weeknight 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1.
Cuts it to 4 car lengths. Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack.
We're back live at ISM Raceway, just outside Phoenix, Arizona in Avondale. Just a short trip west on the 10. Xfinity teams making their final runs on this Friday afternoon. And next on FS1 as our Fast Friday coverage continues, qualifying for NASCAR's Top Shelf. And if ever qualifying were important, it is here. And there's a look at David Starr out of Houston, Texas, driving the 52 for Jimmy Means.
Orange vanilla Coke.
you drive around
Well,
this
that's
part of the
something
country,
you'll have
you're
to
bound
find
to
out
see
for yourself.
a Whataburger.
Go out and grab an ice cold
I think
new
perhaps
orange
we could hit
vanilla
David
Coke.
up. He could.
It's new. It's
he could
orange.
buy us dinner
It's
tonight.
vanilla. And it's just
All right,
as
so Jeremy
refreshing as
Clements has
every
pulled his
sip of
car into the
Coca-Cola should
garage.
be.
Let's listen to what they're saying.
Wix has the perfect filter for how
Dave Eubanks
drives if
Dave
drives like a
crazed chipmunk, stopping and changing lanes in rush hour traffic.
Wix says no problem. Whether you have a normal everyday drive or an
That's
extreme
Jeremy
drive
Clements talking
or
to his
anything in
dad, Tony.
between,
You saw
we have the
Tony
filter
there,
that'll protect
the
your vehicle.
gray-haired
Now, when
man.
it comes to
He's
your
the engine builder
a fear
and the crew chief, and
You'll
this
have
is
to
a
deal
group
with
that
that
continues
yourself.
to make
Wix
strides
Filters
out
will
of
get you
Spartanburg,
there.
South
Go to
Carolina. They're fighting it a
wixfilters.com to
bit
find the
today,
distributor
Reed.
near
Well, they
you.
are fighting it just a bit. And if he's tight
A
now and
half
fighting
mile
that
lap
tight
in only
condition, that's only going to get more
14.7
extreme tomorrow,
seconds.
Adam, when we
You
add on
can't
more cars.
fake
Hey, something else I want you to take a look at
It's
as
the
well.
Food City
Look at the
500 at
garage areas.
Bristol
We
Motor
see here
Speedway,
on the backside
Sunday,
of the
April
garage, the
7th.
guys are stacked
The
up
Rush,
double wide.
the Roar,
That makes it
the
a challenge on
intensity.
these pit crews.
It's
The only
NASCAR's
teams
fastest
that
short
have
track.
a full garage stall to
Got
work
to
in are
be
the
here
top
to take
5
it all
teams.
in.
They basically have an entire stall compared to the other guys who have to split a stall. It can be very cramped down here. I
That's
talked at the top of the show how this garage was
BristolTIX.com.
legendary.
It's
It might not have been
Bristol, baby.
legendary for good reasons. The teams used to get so
I'm
aggravated
Kevin
when they'd have
Harvick,
to work
and you're
next to each
listening
other
to
in these
Fast Talk
stalls.
on the
Yeah, but
Performance
Regan,
Racing
let's
Network.
rewind 1 year ago. The Xfinity group, they didn't have a garage at all. They were working behind their haulers. So as we upgraded
Every
the Cup
year,
garage
more than 15,000
here in
people
Phoenix,
aren't there
it may be a
because they
hand-me-down with tight
accidentally or
working
knowingly
quarters,
misused an
but at
open
least they've got a roof
vacation.
over their head now when they
Gone
come out
because
west.
someone
Well,
was
it
careless.
certainly beats
If
the
you've been
pop-up
prescribed
tents that these
opioids,
guys had to use the
please,
last
don't
time here.
take
I know
chances.
when I
Follow
used to
your
race here, it was
dosage plan
pop-up
exactly.
tents and working
Keep
out of the
track
back
of
of the
your
hauler.
meds.
Fortunately,
Store them securely.
it doesn't rain
Dispose
very
of them
often in the desert.
properly.
Last year we did
Never,
happen to see
ever
that, but
share.
the weather
Drugs can help
forecast this
control
weekend,
your pain,
absolutely
but it's
beautiful
up to
weather.
you to
And we
control
have to
your
give
drugs.
so much credit
Because
and
isn't
say a
there
big
enough pain
attaboy to
already?
everyone here
watch
at
the
ISN
outside,
Raceway
clean the
because of the
inside, and make
upgrades
sure
they have
maintenance
made.
is
They
up
did
to
it at
date.
Daytona.
And
International
for your
Speedway
car's
Corporation
engine
did the whole
and fuel
Daytona
system by
Rising
adding
project,
Z-Max
made it amazing.
microlubricant.
They've done it at Richmond
Using the fluid
Raceway,
as a
where we will
carrier to
be
reach
next
internal
month, the
parts.
short track
Z-Max
in
literally
Virginia.
soaks
And
into
they've
metal,
also done it here at
dispersing
ISN
harmful
Raceway
carbon
just outside
buildup.
Phoenix. Spent
This helps improve
$178
performance,
million.
extend engine life,
They've
and reduce
reconfigured
emissions.
the track
Get
as far as
Z-Max
where the
today
start-finish
at
line is. They flip-flop turns
or your
1 and
local
2
auto
with
parts
3 and
store.
4. Tore out the old grandstand. The fans are now in the shade instead of that Arizona sun when they watch the race. Full Wi-Fi. The infrastructure is unbelievable. Congratulations to everybody here. They debuted in November, and we are expecting once again an
Thanks so much for
outstanding
tuning into
race
Fast Talk, brought
weekend
to you by
in
Wix
the
Filters.
desert.
Check 'em out.
John Hunter Nemechek leading
Filters
final
Facebook
practice.
page.
Kyle Busch, Cole
Doug
Crusher,
Reisman, Kevin
Justin
Poe,
Allgaier, Christopher
Patterson.
Bell, your top
Special
5.
Edition is doing this show pretty much immediately after the Pennzoil 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Speaking of which, always fun to come to Vegas because Vegas is kind of a different place. But at least from our viewpoint up here, and Heather, you may have a better look at this working off pit road today. It felt like they had a really good house here, that the crowd was pretty decent.
Yeah, when I looked up to the stands right before we started to go green, it was pretty full, and it's always nice to see a good crowd on a good day with beautiful weather right here in Vegas.
This is a great place. It's a great destination for race fans. I think I saw a lot of fans from a lot of different places here. I saw Chris Powell earlier in the day, and I asked him, he said, well, we can always sell some more tickets, but I was pleasantly surprised when I looked across from where I stand in turns 3 and 4, and I thought, you know, there was a real good crowd here.
It's a challenge, and it's a challenge when you move from a racetrack that had traditionally only one day a year to now you're doubling down, and you give your fan base an option. Okay, well, I don't have to come in March. I can show up in September.
I wonder, though, and I think it's a fair question. I think a lot of fans today, I know there had to be a lot of eyeballs on the television side. You're not going to tell me that the ratings weren't up a bit today, because I think fans wanted to see what was happening here today. And I think some of those fans, you know, caught the buzz early on this year. We've been getting excited about the NASCAR season. First real test for this full package, if you will, here this weekend. And I think that also created some excitement, created some buzz, and sold some tickets.
Well, we'll see if that can continue. I think we could talk the new package thing until we're blue in the face and we won't know anymore. It's a continuing saga. I'll go with what I said earlier. It was better. I'll leave it there. Let's move into this little thing we like to call Green Flag Black.
It's time for another edition of Green Flag, Black Flag.
All right, guys, I know you don't play this a lot, so we'll tell you how I will make a statement. If you agree with the statements, you say green flag. And Harold, what do they hear when they say green flag? All right, there you go. Zing, zing. And if you black flag that statement, you hear this. The traditional game show.
Great to have you with us. It's Fast Friday on FS1. Up right now, NASCAR Xfinity Series final practice coming your way. Just over 20 minutes. It's qualifying for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. And we look at the new fastest man when it comes to this session, Christopher Bell, P1.
How much do you want to bet that he's sitting in that race car smiling right now as he's making these laps? This guy he's fast everywhere that he goes, and he just keeps becoming more of a master of the game. He gets better and better every racetrack that he goes to, which is hard to believe after he had 7 wins last year.
But I talked at the end of the opening practice to Christopher, and I was watching him debrief with his crew chief seen here left of your screen, Jason Ratcliffe, about how they have grown over the last 13 months. You can not only see it in their body language in the garage, the results paying off.
We will be doing this same show
the difference
here
between
in
last year
September.
this time and now
Both of you
is
can come back and talk
there.
to
He
the
was trying to figure out where he fit in this garage area, meaning Christopher at this time last year. Now he knows that he fits in. Now he knows that he's one of the guys everybody looks up to. This year, it's more about perfecting his game, minimizing the mistakes. And I had that conversation with Jason Ratcliffe a couple weeks ago, and it's been pretty obvious this year that that's been the case for them.
As you try to dial your car in for this place, how much balance? Because we know 1 and 2 have absolutely nothing in common with turns 3 and 4.
They do, and it was always a challenge for me. I had trouble with the exits of turns 3 and 4. What was the old 1 and 2?
I was going to say the old 3 and 4 or the current 3 and 4.
I actually got it right that time, which was good. It's been a difficult change to do, but you really have to figure out where your car needs to be best. And a car right now that's been very good, Ryan Truex in this 8 car, he just keeps impressing us today so far.
Well, and I'm surprised, and you try to do the math on why guys are where they are, because it's so difficult when you look at the scoreboard in Xfinity because of how they utilize their tires. Ryan's not a rookie. He doesn't get any extra tires. Now, maybe they save the set, put him on for a long run here, maybe a mock qualifying run, although most guys don't do that in this series. At any rate, if he's third, that's something to celebrate.
He's not a rookie, but let's not forget his crew chief, Tyler Moyer, is a rookie. So a lot of youth with that team, and they've had 4 different drivers so far to start this year. One of my favorite things about that car, we got to point out, catwalk for a cause on it, an amazing cause that is very close and near and dear to his heart.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. and his foundation, of course, support his longtime girlfriend, Sherry Pollux. They do an unbelievable job, literally raising millions of dollars on an annual basis. So good to see Ryan back in the Xfinity Series, and so good to see those colors of the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation Catwalk for a Cause being celebrated this weekend in Phoenix. So with Bell going to the top, that means John Hunter Nemechek is now fallen to second. And I said this earlier, he and his crew chief Chad Norris, another real good pairing for 2019. What do you have, Matt?
Well, over here on the other side of the garage, and catching up with David Starr. First, inside the top 20, tell us about your car. Where do you guys stand at this juncture?
Well, man, you know, we first practice came around, we tried to crack this Whataburger Chevrolet.
When you're approaching 7,500 miles, it means you're close to the next oil change. So think ahead and select the Freedom to Choose oil change bundle at Advance Auto Parts. Choose between 5 quarts of Mobil 1, Castrol Edge, Valvoline, or Pennzoil full synthetic oil with a Pure Later Boss K&N or Mobil 1 oil filter for only $32.99. Think ahead. Think Advance at Advance Auto Parts.
And they said, hey, what can we do to make it any faster? I said, man, I don't know what to do. It's pretty good.
I'm Justin
pretty excited about it. Love racing here in Phoenix, but this Whataburger Chevrolet is pretty good. So looking forward to the race tomorrow.
It's a challenging, but it's a fun challenge racing here.
Man, it's awesome. It's such a great racetrack, you know. It's very challenging, very technical, but it's that for all of us, you know. And you know, you can overdrive the corners real easy, but you know, you got to be disciplined. But man, I'm charging in there, and our car rotates good in the center, and got some great forward bites. So you know, there's really no need to run any more laps. I don't know what to do to it to make it any better. So I'm kind of in there doing a Fred Flintstone, you know, go, you know, but it's all it has, so pretty excited with it.
Well, you know, they always say the real people work down in the pits and in the garage area, and I will say now having Adam down here, you know, a lot of times he's a wine and cheese guy, but we're kind of bringing him over to the real side as far as fries and burgers. I'm trying to get him up to Whataburger number 11 up in Mooresville.
I think I have deflated the theory. come to the garage. He'll be a lot better. No doubt.
I'm telling you, Adam and Regan, we're going to take you guys up to Main Street in Mooresville. We're going to go to Whataburger number 11. And, well, I'm not saying I'm going to buy, but I think we should go and have a good time. What do you think, Regan?
I think if you're offering it up, you're going to have to buy. You don't have a choice but other than to buy, Matt. You just said that. But I don't know that that's the same Whataburger as what's on that race car.
I don't know if it's the same one either, but if Matt's buying, you can be sure that I'll be there.
If it's not the same one, then he's going to have to take us and buy it the other one as well.
Las Vegas.
Hey, what do we see in Austin Cindric here? We've been on board, and this camera angle is incredible, but it shows the perspective of speed here at this place.
You know, one of my favorite camera shots is this bumper shot because it's right down on the splitter. We talk about the splitter all the time. This is likely on the left side of the race car just a little bit, and they try to get that splitter as close as they can to the racetrack. It's always extremely intense to watch this viewpoint, and the drivers can't lie. If they're getting out of the yellow line, we can see it right there. They can't lie to their crew chiefs.
If you don't have your car where you want it, you better hurry because time is running out. 14 minutes to go in final practice. Splitter must be in a good place. Driver 22 just went to the top of the board.
It was going to look more like what we saw at Charlotte in the All-Star race. It wasn't identical, but I thought that was going to be more. I didn't get that, so that left me a little dissatisfied. First 80 laps of this race were not intriguing. You had a guy get out to a 5-second lead and not much going on. As it went on and the drivers got more intense, I thought the action picked up. And better than most Vegas races we've seen, although I thought the race out here in September when it was so hot and guys were popping tires and stuff, that made that race. The fact that we had like 12 cautions made that. This race would have been better today with 3 or 4 more cautions, by the way.
There you go. There you go. A lot of what you're going to hear and have already heard about what happened here is going to be 2 things. It's going to be what I didn't get to see that I thought I was going to see, and the fact that I didn't see any caution flags all day long. And ever since Jeff Burton ran the table in New Hampshire a gazillion years ago, a race that goes down without a caution flag, typically to the masses of our fan base, is a bad race.
Well, I understand because what the mania that goes with the restart, and I can't blame them.
No, but to that point, restarts were better. We actually got, I thought, better racing, Heather, in those restarts. But I don't know about you guys. I'm just speaking for myself when I say this. As a industry, we have got to start underselling and over-delivering. We cannot keep continuously going out there saying, man, what we're getting ready to serve you is going to taste better than anything you have ever had in your life because, number one, you can't predict what's going to happen with these changes. You want to tell me something about it, you need to show me things, and then we'll talk about how good they can become.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe
he's the reigning champ. He has a new team, but it hasn't changed the results in 2019 as we return to Xfinity Series practice here at ISM Raceway. We go visor cam with Tyler Reddick, who went from junior motorsports to RCR, and boy, has that 2-car been so entertaining the last few weeks.
You know, it was fun to talk to Tyler between these 2 practice sessions also. I said, hey, you were pretty good at junior motorsports, and you had Justin Allgaier as a teammate. What's it like switching from the junior motorsports cars to the RCR cars? He said they drive completely different. He felt like the RCR car actually fit his driving style just a little bit better.
I want to go back to something Matt Yoakum said earlier. Talking about RCR to 3 wins here.
And that's the
3 different drivers, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and Elliott Sadler, the drivers that got RCR to victory lane here in the desert. And when you look at RCR and how strong Tyler has been this year, it's a major statement because of this. That team only won 1 time a year ago with Austin Dillon in Michigan.
Right, and
Didn't
Todd
win at all
Gordon
in
even mentioned it. He's still
2017.
not really
They have
sure
really
because
elevated
he said
this year
next
with
week and the
Tyler
week after
driving
that.
that
So
2-car, and certainly you feel like the momentum of his championship has carried over.
Well, not only have they elevated, we got to remember that win last year was also a rain short race in Michigan, so it wasn't like they went out and dominated the entire race.
So we only got 10 minutes to go, final practice. We'll wrap it up for you from live in Phoenix in a moment.
You might not even know when you're
Bell, Nemechek, Ryan Truex, Kyle Busch. For now, it's over to our Race Home Studios and Sarah Walker.
Sure, and again, keep in mind that in any race we run, this is all Captain Obvious. You got those 15 cars that are fast. They're always going to be fast. You got this other, 10 or 12 cars that are going to be chasing that top 15 hard, and then you've got the rest of the group back there, which we appreciate and love, but they're never going to get anywhere close to the front or lead a lap. When you got 3 different groups of cars out there all trying to experience something new, it takes time before any of them can totally figure out what they have to work with. And I think that, again, proof positive today. They got one in the books today. Now let's go do some more of the mile and a half, and let's go experiment with some more things. And I applaud NASCAR. I always say this, I've made my whole living at this business, and I'm the biggest fan they have. I want to see them succeed. But we just got to kind of soft sell it a little bit more and not try to under deliver.
By the way, we owe you a Toyota performance report from the Pennzoil 400, and Kyle Busch was the top performing Toyota. He finished 3rd. Then you go down to 8th for Martin Truex Jr. 10th was Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones finished 13th. Matt DiBenedetto was 21st in the Toyota. And finally wrapping it out, Parker Kligerman in 31st, and 38th was Joey Gase. And that's the breakdown on the Toyota Performance Report. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com. Whether it's at the dealership or the gas pump, Auto Trader is always looking for ways to make your automotive experience better. Enter now to win free gas for a year from Auto Trader and PRN. Visit goprn.com/Auto Trader for your chance to win free gas for a year and see official rules. No purchase necessary to enter. Open to legal U.S. residents over the age of 18. Ends November 4th, 2019, and it's void where prohibited. And Auto Trader does a great job. You can accelerate buying online with Auto Trader. Just do your paperwork, get financing options, and a real Kelly Blue Book trade-in value. Save time at the dealership when you start to deal online with Auto Trader. Time now for us to make our Wicks picks, looking ahead to ISM Speedway, the artist formerly known as Phoenix Raceway, Heather DeBoe. That's close to your heart. That's hometown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hometown race for me. So let's see. I start to think about in Victory Lane when I've been there, they have this artist actually there that paints the winner as they come across the start-finish line. And it's really exciting because if the lead changes happen, then he starts painting something else. But I'm trying to think, how many paintings of who have I seen the most in most recent years? And I'm just going to go with Kevin Harvick.
Oh, that's too easy.
Yeah.
Come on.
You asked me who I thought was going to win, not the long shot.
Yeah, you're definitely right. There's no question you can't think about that racetrack without thinking about how good Kevin Harvick is. It will be a different situation out there next week again with the package that we're running. So there will be a little bit of figure that out, but that doesn't seem to affect Kevin Harvick any whatsoever. Has to be the favorite going into it, Doug. But I also think at the same time that that the next week could be a good day for somebody other than the players that we've got on the board right now. I mean, there may be an opportunity next week for somebody, like I said, Alex Bowman, who's set on the pole out there.
So you're out here hunting for unicorns.
I'm a unicorn kind of guy, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm picking up on. That's what you're putting down on us.
Yeah, I'm going with her. I'm betting on Harvick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're walking to the pay window, you got Kevin Harvick's name. I like the guy that won here today. Maybe it's just because he just won a race. I think this year we may have a big 3, big 4 again. Joey Logano, we're going to be talking about him all year long. You know what happened? The cat got swagger. I saw it at a press conference that we did at Charlotte Motor Speedway where we had all the Penske drivers. The guy up to this point has been Keselowski. He's got the championship. He's got the wins. Blaney's, sexy, cute, trendy. When we had all 3 of them up on stage, you know who was in charge?
Joey Logano.
Joey Logano. Because he's sitting there going like, I get the big trophy at home. And that's how that's going to come down. By the way, that's our Wicks picks brought to you by Wicks.
Putting a bow on final practice for Xfinity Series teams. We're live here at ISM Raceway in Phoenix. Let's hear from driver 20, Christopher Bell, currently
now than he
second.
was at this time last year.
I agree. And even just listening to Brett McMillan talk to him on our show today, he just makes me laugh. Like, he makes you smile. You can't help but like the things that come out of Joey Logano's mouth.
Always a big challenge here, Adam. They've worked on that race car to try and free him up for the middle all day long, and I will almost guarantee you, without even talking to him, now they've gone too far for the entry, and this is, we discussed it earlier in the show, this is the delicate balance of this racetrack, especially in turns 1 and 2. Once you get the middle freed up, the loose end affects you, and you can't turn the steer wheel, which doesn't allow you to get to the bottom and run the line that you want.
Here's the other thought. We've talked about this in the past. When you watch Christopher Bell in turns 1 and 2, full sunshine. But as he comes off of turn 2 and then heads down toward turns 3 and 4, you start to see the shadows creep in. How much can those shadows in a change upset the handling of your race car? And maybe
They definitely affect the handle of the race car. And I think more than anything, what they do is they actually cool the track of the rate or the temperature of the racetrack down, and that's what affects the handling. But let's not forget, these corners are completely different, and that in its own right presents a challenge, no matter if they have the exact same sunlight or not.
4 minutes to go in this practice. You look at the overall chart, you say, who's the favorite? No doubt it's going to be Kyle Busch, right?
Has to be.
But do not sell short this 22. You and I were looking at the long-run averages. He is really putting together some special lap times. He's now made a 20-lap run, and he's not too far off the pace set by driver 18.
You know, he appears to be the only one that can keep up with that pace. And this 22 car, every time we come here, it doesn't matter if it's Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. This car goes to the front, and it challenges Kyle Busch. As good as Kyle Busch's numbers have been at this racetrack, he's had to bend off that 22 car. Austin Cindric, maybe he can get up there to that.
Kyle Busch is pulling back into the garage area just behind us here, and there's a look at Kyle. So he's done for the day, I'm sure. And you saw he leads the 20-lap average. Not many guys in that category. And I'm guessing if you are in the 20-lap average category, that's an indication you feel pretty good about your race car, or you wouldn't have stayed out that long.
Well, 20 laps means that you're going to go out there, you're going to run as much as you possibly can. And somebody that I'm surprised we don't see in that 20-lap category is Justin Allgaier with his 7 car.
Yeah, Allgaier has really been fighting that race car today. No question about it. And a problem for the 90. That's Ronnie Bassett Jr. who got the wall, driving for Mario Gosselin this weekend. And that may end it. With only 3 minutes to go, the red flag is out. Significant damage there.
A lot of damage, and it's tough to tell. That car's smoking pretty severely out of the left front tire, so it's tough to tell if he had a problem with the engine maybe before he hit the wall or afterwards, as we're going to look at here.
Here we are looking down at turn 1. And Matt, what are you hearing down there?
Well, Christopher Bell just had a long conversation with Jason Ratcliffe, and he thinks there's actually oil or fluid on the racetrack. And then you saw the smoke and everything else coming from the 90 car, so he believes indeed there is something down because he could feel it.
Yeah, like you're right.
And they did come over the radio and have a conversation about what happened. Let's hear what they said. Well, evidently, he did talk about that on the radio. Bassett set to make his first start in the Xfinity Series here tomorrow, and there's the aftermath. As you can see, top right of your screen, the caution lights were already on. The 90 of Bassett had already been into the wall.
Yeah, and that's an extreme amount of oil that we see getting poured down on the racetrack right now. Let's not forget, if this ends our practice session, that the Cup cars are going to have to go out and qualify with that oil on the racetrack right after this. So they're hoping that Xfinity gets back on the track to dust it off.
And I will say, there are Xfinity cars that are backing out of the garage right now and heading back to the track. So that's an indication that they feel like there might be an opportunity to make one more run. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this practice is going to come to a close. They'll get the track cleaned up, and we'll be ready for Cup qualifying, which comes your way next as a part of our Fast Friday coverage here on FS1. Bassett has made his way back to the garage. You see the damage there. And hopefully, with a composite body, they can repair this thing. I don't know. Different challenges for all different teams on that.
I think the biggest concern for them is going to be what's coming out from underneath that race car, the oil, and what's taking place right there.
Here's who led the way today in practice at Phoenix. Kyle Busch tops in practice number 1. Final practice goes to Austin Cindric. And when you look at the car over the long haul, they were 1-2 20-lap average here in final practice.
You know what, these two, and we talk about the young guys trying to compete with Kyle Busch, the benchmark is right there. They have to go out there and they have to And speaking of guys that went out and went door to door with Kyle Busch, the two-car of Tyler Reddick, so much fun last weekend, such a great attitude.
Who's got the best chance to pull a surprise?
That's a good question. I'm going to say, based on this practice, the guy we're looking at, Austin Cindric, he was strong on the long runs and did a very nice job throughout the course of this session.
Here's what I like about Cindric. He's driving a car that's had success here. They won a season ago with Brad Keselowski, Brian Wilson calling the shots. And when Cindric came here with Wilson in November, they got a top 5 finish. They've had momentum in the early portion of 2019. Austin Cindric, certainly someone to watch. That's going to do it for final practice. For Matt Yoakum, Regan Smith, I'm Adam Alexander. The fun continues in moments with Cup qualifiers.
This is the airtime. This is the Motor Racing Network counting down to today's broadcast. Your next time check. 4 minutes to airtime. Receiving this broadcast by satellite and are having problems with your waiver receiver. Contact Westwood One Network Operations at 888-450.
But it's interesting listening to Joe Logano talk about
Email Westwood at Westwood1.com or online for technical information. Technology Westwood1.com.
the last lap. He said, "What else do you want?"
Well, you want them coming across the line 3 wide and wrecking
upside down,
and one upside down.
I ran into one of them in the bathroom on the way out.
Yeah. So yeah, you want that. No, I mean. Yeah, I mean,
this is the Motor Racing Network with time check for today's broadcast. Stand by for your 4-minute time check.
I think in most cases with the old rules, you most likely wouldn't have had that. Now again, there could have been a situation where you could have
4 minutes to airtime. This is the Motor Racing Network counting down to today's broadcast. Your next time check will be 3 minutes to airtime. Receiving this broadcast by satellite and are having problems with your waiver receiver. Contact Westwood One Network Operations at 888-450. That's 888-435-7450.